What's up, guys? So the first deck we're going to look at in the series is Druid, and it's basically the tokenless, and it's going to take the Horde side. They're playing Pharmacy the Lifesteer. You're probably looking at the deck already and saying, oh my god, he isn't playing that, he isn't playing this. We'll get to that in a minute, we'll explain the card choices. I've actually been playing this deck for several weeks now, and it's been really good. I mean, it's really good in testing. The only other word to describe it is basically explosive. And it's probably the fastest, most explosive deck in the core format currently. Getting to the deck, I mean, each of these token decks are going to basically have the same core token generators. I mean, you have your Bottle of Life, you have your Verdant Boon, your Avatar of the Wild, and your Karn, Chosen. I mean, it's pretty much played in everything. The rest of your abilities, I mean, we'll get to. Let's talk about Favor. Okay, so Favor is pretty. I feel it's underrated. Not a lot of people that I've seen or I've played against, they might have a couple copies. Being able to throw this on like a token and crack into a Boomer or a Protector or a couple of it, just a big list of creatures, and basically killing your token and getting 2/1/1s. It's pretty good. I mean, you're getting value. So, I mean, it's definitely not something to it's not underrated. There's sometimes you have your opening hand is Karn, Bottle, Favor, and Planeswatcher, but you don't have the boon, so you flip, you basically crack you stash Karn, pop the Bottle, or you don't have to pop the Bottle, just play the Bottle. Turn to Favor up the Tauren, smash into something, killing it, getting 2 tokens, exhausting the Bottle, getting your 4th token, and then playing your second turn Planeswatcher that way. I mean, it has its advantages of being played, so it's definitely something to consider whenever you're looking at building your deck. Getting into the free guys. This is by far the reason the deck is. These take the deck to a whole nother level. I mean, like I said, the deck's explosive, but Mr. Grumpy and Taro here basically just they can put games just out of reach for your opponent. I mean, there's been times where I've had turn 2 double Planeswatcher Taro, and then you just flicked at my opponent and he just kind of shrugged. The other guy that was in the build earlier on, he hasn't got a lot of publicity, but he's starting to. A lot of people are, starting to talk about him finally. Is Prazo Whiptrick. He's good, but the problem is he's not as consistent as the Planeswatcher or Baba Ganoush. Simply because, as much as I'd like this to be like a wink at Bogmara, sometimes it's not consistent to be able to get the Bottle of Life in your opening hand in Prazo. I mean, yes, you can get the God hands of playing Bottle of Life and then dropping a couple Prazos on turn 1 and watch your opponent cry and facepalm as you have 9 power sitting at staring at him. But I mean, Magical Christmas Land is it's not real life, so pretty much I cut him, and I don't regret cutting Prazo at all. Now, getting to probably a lot of what you guys are probably wondering, why I'm not playing Surge of Power. Okay, the main reason I'm not playing Surge of Power is on turn 3 I want to be dropping a Tolden with this deck. I don't want to be dropping, I mean, it's bad when you're sitting there saying you don't want to drop a Surge of Power. For those of you that don't know what Surge of Power is, I'll go ahead and pull it up. Surge of Power is basically 3-drop ongoing ability. They give all your tokens +1/+1. Okay, first off, sweepers aren't very common or very popular right now in a lot of decks. I think as more tournaments go by and you see more token decks, I think people will start playing some sweepers. You have Darkmoon Card, Hurricane that it's pretty much available to everybody. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty limited as to what matchups actually have sweepers, and it's all about playtesting. When you're playing your deck, you have to play playtest against everything in the gauntlet, you have in your gauntlet, or at least the popular decks, and know what you're going up against. I'm coming from Magic, and I can say the one thing that I'm having to get used to is not having a best of 3. Only playing one game. It's just it's a lot getting used to. So what instead of, like I said, for turn 3, dropping a Tolzin is more optimal in my opinion, simply because on turn 3 usually Tolzin's like a 6/6, all the way up to sometimes he's a 12/12, and it's sometimes even higher. And some decks just can't handle that. You might have a couple tokens, dropping a couple tokens, and yeah, they become 2/2s. But hey, I just dropped a Tolzin, and hey, he's massive. Deal with him. Well, you can't. Okay, well, it's going to be game. Plus, he has a stash effect, and now you're probably asking yourself, why don't I just play both? The reason I don't play both is simply because I have two other abilities. Royal Rage is pretty common in the token deck, simply because it gives your hero and all your allies an additional +1 attack. And you can exhaust with a warrior, which Planeswatcher Taro and Karn tokens are actually warriors as well. You can also play the 2/3 Protector that gets bigger. He's a warrior. I ended up cutting him from the deck because he just winded up being he's just too slow. He's not something I want to be doing on turn 2. Flame Blade. Sometimes sometimes you just don't get the Verdant Boon on turn 2, but you'll have the Karn, Bottled Life, Flame Blade hand, and you just you crack the bottle, you stash Karn, crack the bottle, then next turn play Ruby, and you're smashing him up to 6, and then following up with that turn with a Tolzin, or even just stashing a Tolzin, and then playing like a Bottle Rage or an Avatar. Flame Blade, in my opinion, is definitely better than the Surge of Power, and it's mostly due to the lack of sweepers. And the majority of the sweepers out there anyway are going to basically kill your creatures anyway if they're sweeping, like Fellblaze. There's the monster one, and there's just a couple others. So it's I don't know. This is what I've basically been playing, and it works insanely well. It's very fast, very explosive. Like I said, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but don't knock it until you try it. I've tried Surge of Power, and this, it's, in my opinion, this is better. This is the better direction, at least for this type of deck. Now, when Mass Removal starts becoming a little bit more popular, then I might change that, but change that thought process. But for right now, turn 3 Tolzin is definitely the play. One drop is Roslyn. This was the 2/1 Delve guy. Delve is by far the most powerful mechanic in this format, hands down. It's being able to arrange a draw is absolutely broken. It's Scry for Magic, but kudos for Cryptozoic basically bringing it into WoW. It's powerful mechanic. Being able to set up your draws, very good. The big thing is versus a lot of decks. The 2/1 Delve guy was nice. He was able to set up the next couple turns. But having that 3/2 body on turn 1, even though he dealt 3 to you, it was just good. Being able to take out a couple protectors, and especially versus Grand Crusader, being able to kill a Bronze Drake, and then go in for a Warden or something, or even kill the 2/3 Protector guy. It's really good. It allows you to catch up. The next thing is Twisted Wrath. Now, the problem that all aggro decks wind up facing is sometimes they just don't have the reach. And what this does is this gives us the reach at the end. Being able to ELT, sack a token, and deal 5 to somebody, and then untap, and then play a massive Avatar, swing in for the kill, or play, a bunch. The deck is, like I said, it's fast. The damage can come out of nowhere. Some people like playing the 5/1 Ferocity Stealth Goblin. I don't know. I've played Twisted Wrath, and it's just worked well. Going back to talking about the abilities, going back to Surge of Power. There's a bunch of decks. Ability removal is actually pretty scarce, but having basically ability destruction in your hand versus your opponent in a deck like this that basically has none, minus the favorite nature, which you're usually just putting on a creature and smashing into something and getting your tokens. I mean, it's just a dead card for them. I mean, having a dead card in the hand is just another reason why I don't play Surge of Power. Pretty sure I'm gonna get, I'm not gonna hear the end of why I should and why I shouldn't, my Surge of Power debate. But other than that, I mean, you have Seeds of their Demise, which is easily the staple quest for the majority of the decks in this format. Delve, like I said, broken mechanic. Being able to rearrange your draws or set up your draws is very powerful. Kor'kron Vanguard. Okay, so this started out as the last card we're talking about before we get to the actual gameplay. This started out as Twilight Citadel simply because figuring to generate some 1/1s. It's actually too slow. That's not what you want to be doing with this deck. You don't want to be tapping 2 mana. You want to be tapping out every turn, playing a couple guys or playing some abilities and just smashing them in their face. You just want to constantly turn your guys sideways and beating them in the face. And that's just Twilight Citadel fit in. Then you came into your Delve, the Throne of the Tides. Now, Throne of the Tides actually works in the late game whenever you actually, if you start falling behind, it gives you a way to search for your Twisted Wraths or an avatar or something that will finish them off at the end. But Kor'kron Vanguard actually, it just serves more purpose simply because being able to give your hero something to do and being able to take out a creature instead of having to trade one of your precious tokens for it has been pretty invaluable, to be honest. There's nothing really else much to talk about. Everything else is going to come up in the playtesting. So we'll go ahead. We have Savagen. I didn't talk about Savagen. Pretty much a Horde staple. Free damage to your opponent. It's how lucky. How lucky do you think you are? But other than that, it's killed many creatures for me for free, and it's also dealt some damage. Sometimes an 8/1 is an 8/1 is an 8/1. Even though it does attack random. But other than that, that's pretty much the list that I'm going to be pretty much showcasing in this part of the series. We'll have some videos, and I'll write against the gauntlet of the popular decks. And we'll go ahead and get to it. We're going to start. We'll play a game or two versus Grand Crusader, and then we'll branch off to Shaman and Hunter and the rest. So we'll go ahead and get started with that, and we'll come back after everything's said and done, and we'll take a look.